If you guys recall here, these first two is what we call a complex fraction. Or the first and the last are a complex fraction. So you could apply the operations in the numerator and the numerator and then simplify if you wanted to. Or if you guys remember what typically what I told you guys to do was just multiply by the LCD. So we see we have 1, 2, 3 little fractions inside of our larger fraction. And the LCD, the common denominator, is just, starts with an F, rhymes with poor, 4. If you multiply every single fraction times 4, guys, you're going to get rid of all the denominators. Watch. 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 1/4 is 1. 4 times 1/4 is 1. Do you guys see what happens when you multiply by the LCD? I no longer have these are fractions. Now I can just do the arithmetic. 4 minus 1 is 3/1, which equals 3. So it might not be obvious then, what is the LCD here? So let's just, why don't we write them as fractions, right? Or let's maybe think about it this way. Let's think about it this way. If our goal, technically our goal here is to get this. Since we only have one fraction in the denominator, we know this problem would be a lot easier if this is 1. Agreed? Right? So why don't we just multiply everything times the reciprocal of that denominator, which is, reciprocal of secant is cosine. Which again, guys, if you write these, that's 1 over cosine, that's 1 over cosine, right? And that's 1. So again, this would be reciprocal. So in this case, we get cosine squared of theta minus 1 all over 1, which we don't really need to write the 1 in the denominator, but it's there. And we recognize cosine squared of theta minus 1 is Pythagorean identity. No, still forgot it. OK, let's do it again. Cosine squared of theta plus sine squared of theta equals 1. So if I subtract a 1 to give me cosine squared of theta minus 1, I would need to subtract the sine squared. So therefore, this is equal to negative sine squared of theta. Do you guys see why it's a negative sine squared, not a positive sine squared? Yes? So we need to know this, and we just need to make sure we know how to manipulate it as well. Next round. Now this one, we don't really have any fractions, but we have a radical in the denominator. And on the what you need to know I gave you before break, I told you to rationalize those or to practice rationalizing. So if I wanted to get rid of the radical in this case, I would need to rationalize the denominator, which would be multiplied by the conjugate. So the conjugate of 1 minus square root of 3 is 1 plus the square root of 3. And the nice thing about rationalizing the denominator is here we get negative 2 minus 2 square root of 3. Here we have a difference of 2 squares. Wow, we're practicing that a lot. I wonder if this will come up later. It will, don't worry. So that simplifies to negative 2 minus 2 square root of 3. Divide by negative 2. The negative 2 divides into both those terms, which gives us a 1 plus the square root of 3. And don't worry, guys, we will be doing that later this chapter. All right, but you guys can see the algebra that just happened. Practice it. So here, maybe I want to multiply by the conjugate here. What's the conjugate of 1 minus sine? 1 plus sine, just like over here. So what happens here? I don't know. Let's try it. Remember when I said to just try things? Maybe you get it wrong. Maybe it doesn't work. Try something else. The nice thing about multiplying by its conjugate is we get the difference of 2 squares. So up top, we're left with cosine squared of theta times 1 plus sine of theta. I could distribute that, but I'm just going to leave it right now. This becomes 1 minus sine squared of theta. Do we recognize anything special about 1 minus sine squared of theta? What does that equal to? 1 minus sine squared of theta is the same thing as cosine squared of theta. Hey, I have a cosine squared of theta in the numerator as well as in the denominator. That divides out. That just leaves me with 1 plus the sine of theta. All right, last but not least, now again we have multiple fractions in this case. So again, we want to identify the LCD. We could say it's going to be 3 times 4 is going to be 12. So let's multiply everything times 12. You could also multiply by the conjugate, kind of see where that goes. And now you might not recognize, well, oh, let's actually do this real quick, sorry. So if I were to multiply everything times 12, I would get 16 over 9 plus 16, which equals 16 over 25. So again, just you can see how multiplying by the LCD helps us there. Now this one might not be as obvious what the LCD is. Agreed? Like what the heck's the LCD here? But could we also write this in terms of trigonometric fractions? Is that fine? Now you can see, oh, why don't you multiply everything by sine of theta, cosine of theta? So if I multiply sine of theta times cosine of theta, let's see what would happen here. Here, the sines would divide out, so I'd be left with cosine squared of theta. Oh, crap, I forgot that's a positive. I keep on forgetting to change this. It's supposed to be a positive. So here in this case, I get cosine squared. In the denominator, I would get a sine squared plus a cosine squared. And what do you guys notice about sine squared plus cosine squared? It's equal to 1. So this problem looks so confusing. And the answer is just cosine squared of theta. Anybody have any questions?